Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Ham preview of the Southampton game. Welcome to West Ham United. How are you, Matt? All's well? Oh, you got the shirt. You got the shirt. Now, I just want to know: is it a real shirt in that thing?
See, from what I can see, it is. Right. Anne actually rang me up earlier and asked. Like, well, I can't tell you for definite because I can't open it. But it is on a shirt material, and it is actually the press. You know, if you go and get your name and number put on.
Yeah.
So,
bloody
I'm assuming it is. Yeah, I'm assuming it is. I've ordered some stuff so I can hang it on the wall, which hasn't turned up yet. So I thought I'd just stick it out of the way somewhere that it's not going to get smashed.
Nice one. And people, for all of you watching, it was a legit, I wouldn't call it a ballot. It was a legit raffle thing. Matt won it fair and square. I mean, I was really surprised that you won it. I think you were as well when I messaged you.
I'd forgotten. I was completely forgotten. I was like, oh, crap, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. We're here for the final game of the season. One more point required for the Europa League. We've already made Europe for the Europa Conference, but one more point gets us into the Europa League. Excited?
It's been a long season, mate.
Hasn't it just?
You know what? I'm almost more nervous today than I was against West Brom.
You know what? As I was finalising the details for the show, I was beginning to feel the same way, really, because the fans are going to be back. It's going to be emotional when we sing Bubbles and the team come out and everything. It's going to be quite an emotional moment. It's been well over a year since we've been live. I know we had the Man United game, 2,000 fans, but I think this is the one, isn't it? And the fact that it's the last game of the season, the fact that it's actually quite important for us, it's quite a big deal, isn't it? It's quite a big deal.
It is, and I don't think anyone predicted back at the start of the season. We looked at the last three games, we would have gone, oh, they're going to be three games that get us into Europe,
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. I know.
I was looking at them three games going, you know what, they might be the games that keep us up.
To keep us up. I know, exactly. Before we bring our guest on, now that we mentioned the football prizes thing, well, let's mention it again because there is another great prize this week. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be up for this one. A signed Vladimir Southampton shirt.
I'm a couple of tickets for that one.
I'm going to get a couple of tickets for that. I think that is one that a lot of people are really going to be up for. I mean, I quite like the Di Canio one. And what was the other one? The one that's just gone, the Declan Rice one, of course.
Yeah, Declan Rice one.
But this one, I don't know. Hammer of the year?
He missed it by a ticket, apparently.
For the Declan shirt, I had number 13, my age, and the winner was never mind. Unlucky, Jake, and good evening to you. Soufal, Hammer of the year, mate? Got to be up there, isn't he?
You know what?
Got to be up there.
It's difficult because it's actually been a good year. So, you could say Soufal, you could say Souček. Some people might jump on Lingard because obviously it's almost a popularity contest at times.
I'm not going to give it to Lingard. I wouldn't give it to Lingard. But look, I'll tell you what.
For me, it's only Declan Rice.
No, I don't even think so. I think Souček
because his standard is so high. He's so good every
game. We can argue this all night. We've got our Southampton guests waiting in the wings. We'll talk West Ham later on, mate. But if you guys wanna get that prize, go to Football Prizes. And I mean, look at that shirt. I'm going for it. £4.95 a ticket. Only 99 tickets available. Competition ends on Friday, 28th of May at 7:30. If you fancy that, I fancy that. I might buy 10 just in case, just so I can be sure. Anyway, let's bring on our guest, and we'll talk a little bit about Southampton. Dan, good evening, mate. Sorry to have kept you waiting. How are you?
No.
Are you all well? Looking forward to the last game of the season?
I'm looking forward to seeing the end of the season. I'll be honest with you, boys. It's been a weird one. It's been a bit of a downhill spiral pretty much since the last time we played you guys. I'm trying to remember that actually happened. It was one of the more uneventful games of the season. Let's put it that way. But,
let's just look at that, shall we? So,
okay.
Nice. Well, I thought there were going to be more picks there, but there are. Look, Anton fooled me. There's 2 videos. Keep them on. My apologies for that. It's not a music show. 29th of December. That does feel like a long time ago, doesn't it, Dan?
It does. A lot of football has been played since then.
And a very uneventful game, as you said, as well. 0-0.
Yeah, it was.
Do you remember anything at all from that game? Were there any highlights whatsoever? Because I'm trying to rack my brain, and I'll ask you as well, Matt, because I'm not sure I can.
I remember it being a little bit of a slump. For it was kind of around, obviously nothing compared to what would follow, but we weren't scoring many goals at that point. I think we fired a few blanks around Christmas. We hadn't had a great period, and that was a couple of days before we went on and beat Liverpool 1-0. All I remember is I think Ings had come back from one of his handful of injuries this season and kind of excited about that. I think he had a chance. I think Ben Rama had a chance, and that's pretty much it. To be honest, I remember thinking it was 2 points dropped based where the two sides were at the time. And behold, look where we are now. Yeah.
So, what do you make of your season, Dan? I mean, how has it felt for you? Because I think for me, when at the beginning of the season, Southampton for me felt like a team that were going to probably maybe sort of break Europe, and it feels like our respective teams have gone the other way. Whereas we all felt, and I'm sure Matt probably thinks the same, we all felt that this could have been another relegation battle for us this season, and we might get away with it and finish maybe 12th, 13th, something like that. And Southampton looked like a team that might be sort of really maybe making that next step up. Has it been a disappointment, or is it what you've expected it to be?
No, it's been a disappointment. It's definitely been a disappointment. I think you're right to say that Europe was possibly, something we can. I think we were dark horses. I think it would have been unrealistic to have expected 7th, 6th, or breaking the top 6, whatever. The general consensus before the season started was, we should be looking at top half. We hadn't finished in the top half for a couple of seasons, and obviously we were flying. We were doing brilliantly first half of the season. I think when we beat Liverpool back in like the first week of January, we were 6th. We were kind of up in that top 6, top 8 bracket for a long time this season, and then we plummeted. I think I've gone on other channels and said the same thing. You can pinpoint numerous factors, but at the end of the day, it just feels like we've burnt out. We burnt out way too quickly. We had an FA Cup run. I mean, that's no excuse which is Ralph has tried to use an excuse. He said he prioritised the cup run, but that's one game a month. Even we were lucky with our draws. We got ourselves to the semi-final. Really disappointed that we show up on the day against Leicester. Overall, it is a disappointment. It's a concern how bad we have been the second half of the season, how we could go from such high levels to, worst team in the league. Second half of the season, the worst team in the league. There's no way to sugarcoat that. The manager has got to be blamed in areas. The players have got to be blamed. Board in the sense that, Ralph hasn't been backed really since he's been Southampton manager the last 2.5 years in transfer windows. It's a real disappointment. It's a real shame.
Do you think when you look at the season, given that it started so soon after the last season, do you think there's an awful lot of teams, maybe like Southampton, one or two other teams, where because you haven't necessarily invested in the squad that you should have done, and it's kind of gotten to the players? I mean, we look at West Ham and the tail end of this season. The last 6 games, sometimes we've looked quite laboured, and that's because of the small start of our squad. Do you think maybe Southampton have experienced something similar, but maybe it caught up with them a lot earlier in the season, or is that just a lame excuse to give?
I mean, I've been trying to pinpoint any sort of excuse I can for the last 4 or 5 months, to be honest, because we've been that bad. But I do think definitely our strong start of the season was helped by the fact that we had 6 weeks of pre-season, because we ended the season during the restart period so well. You know, we were one of the best teams in the league. I think there was only one. I think Man United were the only team that picked up more points. I may be wrong. We were up there, basically. We were one of the better teams during the restart period. We had a really strong end to the season. We went on and finished 11th in a season where at Christmas time, you know, we were around the relegation places. So it was a good turnaround. But yeah, you could definitely argue that we've kind of crashed and burned in January, and it's just gone downhill from there, really. But yeah, I think there's been a lot of naivety. I think Ralph has hopefully learned a lot from this season in terms of the way he sets up his team, the way he's kind of managed the second half of the season. But it's a wake-up call as well. Definitely a wake-up call, because we can't start next season in the same manager that we've ended this one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Matt, what do you make of Southampton? I mean, they've got some class players, haven't they? They've got some players that we would like to eye up for West Ham, you know, in midfield and stuff like that. How do you see Southampton seasons going from an outsider perspective?
It's a strange one, because, like you said, the first half of the season, they were sort of where we are now. Like, you know, they were top 6 pushing top 4. And everyone was like, they're going to be the team to push on and break the top 6 this year. And as obviously an outside looking, I can't pinpoint just where it went wrong. Like you said about the players, they've got 2-3 very good goalkeepers. Your defence is pretty solid. You go for the midfield and the centre forwards, and you think they've got positions all over the pitch. And I don't know. Like you said, James Ward-Prowse is one we'd all love to have. Danny Ings, Che Adams found his feet this year. He might have struggled a bit last year.
Yeah.
People like Vestergaard at the back. They got Gunn, McCarthy, and Forster as goalkeepers. They got 3 essentially first choice goalkeepers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Dan. I'm not sure where they're falling apart. But from the outside looking in, it looks like a really solid season, but they have just tailed off.
Mm-hmm. Dan, I mean, we'll get onto the game in a minute, but what do you expect for next season? I mean, certainly, there's an awful lot of talk about Danny Ings and whether he's going to stay at the club. I mean, you need to build on what you've got, don't you? Especially like Ward-Prowse, etc., etc. I mean, what's your expectation in the close season? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think Hassan Hull is going to do in the transfer market? And is he going to be given the funds to do it as well?
It's a lot of ifs. It's a lot of ifs. It all comes down to this transfer window for me is one of the biggest, I think, since we've been promoted. You know, so that's a decade. You know, it's definitely one of the biggest kind of transfer windows, because if we get it right, we can push ourselves on to be a top half team that we wanted. Maybe knock on the door of being near that 7th spot. Who knows? But if we get it wrong this window, I do see a season of unfortunate relegation. I hate to use the R word as early as May, but it is looking like that. It is getting to a point where this summer really is crucial. So far, no, in terms of your question about backing and funds. We've got an owner who, you know, he invested at a time when sport and football in particular was becoming very big in China. It hasn't gone to the way that the Chinese government expected. So he's got no interest in kind of investing any money into that. He's not taking money out. He's not a crook in that sense, but he's not injected either. So it's kind of what we make ourselves is what we're going to spend, which is why, you know, if you've looked at Ralph's conference comments the past couple of days, you know, he's saying we're targeting 12th by winning this game, because that's an extra 4 or 6 million. You know, every is about £2 or £3 million of prize money. So it's going to be a case of, from what we've been told by the press, obviously we may be surprised in a month's time we're signing some for 25 million. Who knows? But for now, it's looking like we're going to have to find shrewd signings. You know, we're going to have to look for not 10 million. You know, like Stuart Armstrong, for example, he was signed for £7 million. It's going to be players like that. But it's which areas need to be strengthened. We need to strengthen firstly left back because Ryan Burton's leaving. So we need a new first choice. We need 2 left backs, another backup right back for Walker Peters, and then kind of go from there. But they're the main areas. And so, yeah, it completely depends on how well we do this window. Because if we get it wrong, we're going to be flirting with relegation. And I hate to say it, but I think it's.
Do you expect things to stay? Or do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, how many years has he got left on his contract? He's got a couple, I think, or am I wrong there?
I want to say 2. I think 2. Yeah. So I was saying this to some Leeds fans on before previewing the game on Tuesday. The difference, Southampton have had numerous players who've gone on for much bigger fees than they were initially bought for. Your Manes. I can list them for an hour probably, but. They all felt different to what it feels this summer with Danny Ings, with your Manes, your Van Dijks, Lallana and Lambert to an extent. It all felt at that time that they were going to move on. With Ings, it doesn't feel like a certainty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, it's his boyhood club. He's come from Liverpool, where he wasn't scoring in games, he was in half the time. He's found his feet again in the Premier League with the team he supported as a boy, the club that rejected him as a boy as well. So he's proving his point, and he's worshipped. So this is the conversation we have. If he signs a 2 or 3 year contract extension, he will be absolutely worshipped. He will go down as a Southampton legend, in my opinion, if he can go and do another 2 seasons of double digits in the Premier League in terms of goals. But at the same time, he's this guy, I'm sure, and another shot at a club would be, intriguing. But at the same time, he did that at Liverpool. He had that shot at Liverpool, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I think from his point of view, he's 28. I think he's probably either going to have to stay at Southampton for the rest of his career or have one more shot at playing for a top 6 side and challenging for trophies. Whether he'll play or not is another question.
Matt, I'm going to throw that one over to you. Danny Ings at West Ham, would he fit the system? Not that I'm saying we're going to buy him, Dan.
No, you're not buying him.
But now that we're a top 6 club, we've got to love it because we'll never get top 6 again in probably another 10 years. So,
no, look, I don't think he comes to us.
No,
I know that we're getting Europa League this year, but I know Dan said about they need to get their transfers right in the summer, but I still see the 2 of them as like we're both sort of clubs trying to push in the right direction, the right sort of way. We've had a bit of luck of the green this year, Southampton haven't. I think if he does go, it will be one of the, should we say, the greedy 6. I think we'll pick him up.
Greedy, yeah, definitely, yeah.
I won't call them the big 6 because they're not the big 6 anymore.
They're not the big 6. No way.
No
way.
2 of them are currently sitting below us.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. I think Ings is smart. I think obviously every player is going to have contract agents in their ear about avoiding a new contract, and I think it's taken until the end of the season for any sort of deal to potentially be signed. It's clearly been on the table. From what I've heard, we're prepared to make him our highest ever paid player. It's down to him. He's got 2 choices. Have a shot at, like you say, a greedy 6 club, because with all respect, he wouldn't go to an Everton or West Ham.
No, and we're joking when we say that, but he's had the taste he's had the taste of Liverpool, and do you think maybe that would kind of make him think twice?
Yeah, definitely. He's his head's screwed on the right way. Let's put it that way. I think if he was playing for someone that he didn't have loads of outside affection for, it might be a bit different. But we say it all the time that this is his boyhood club. It's it's more of an honor. He said it before. It's more pride. It's more of an honor scoring goals for Southampton. He's from down the roads. Like I said, he supported them as a kid. He's always been looking out for our results, even at Burnley and Liverpool when he was at Bournemouth. So yeah, I'd like to think that if there's a 2-year extension on the table, he signs it. But look, that may come back to bite me in the backside in a month's time. We just don't know.
Well, let's move on to the game. And your last game was against Leeds, wasn't it? Midweek, am I right? And the team that you put out there is, as you can see on the screen. Do you think there's going to be any changes to that lineup against us on Sunday?
Yeah, well, Adams is injured. so definitely him gone. Ings will start, I would imagine. I would say that Djenepo won't start the game. I would imagine the likes of Redmond would start this one. Not sure whether Walcott would start. I think for Ralph, he hasn't been making changes recently. In fairness, he's been sticking to just the 1 or 2. He has been rotating the goalkeeper, which has been a bit of a strange one. So whether McCarthy or Forster plays this one, I couldn't tell you. But in terms of the back 4, I think that's spot on. I think it will stay that way. I don't think Bednarek will come in for this game. Oriol Romeu's been past fit, so he might make his first start in 3 months. So yeah, there could be a few changes, but I would like to think that Ings would come in for Adams. I'd like Teller to start again. He's been brilliant. The Armstrong-Ward-Prowse midfield partnership's doing well. And that back 4 has been all right as well. So I'd say maybe 2 changes, 3.
Mm-hmm. Of those, Matt, who do you fear? Which player do you look at and think about that's gonna cause us problems on Sunday?
Well, as I said, we knew I was going to say Danny Ings would go straight back in.
Yeah,
Danny Ings is obviously the first and foremost. He has built himself back, his reputation back up as a clinical finisher again. He's doing really well. You said Ward-Prowse in the middle. A free kick anywhere inside 30 yards these days is almost like a penalty for him. You know, it's a free shot at goal. So you have to respect him. I mean, I quite like Djenepo. I thought he'd done quite well. So I'd probably expect him to start. I don't want to say anything bad against Walcott because I don't think he's as good as he used to be. He's one of them players, isn't he, still? That
he's got the tendency that will come up and score a goal
against West Ham.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There's threats throughout the front, the wingers and the attackers are going to cause us problems.
Yeah,
it's.
Are you going to go with a 4-4-2 again, Dan? Do you think?
Oh
that's
yeah,
what,
yeah, no, without doubt that, and that's been one of the criticisms of Ralph. Not he likes to call it 4-2-2. But the fact that he's so set on that system, you know, it was brilliant first half of the season, but there's no plan B in that sense when a game's not working. But yeah, he'll definitely start with that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And can I ask you, who do you fear when it comes to West Ham United? Is there a player that you're looking at that you think could possibly cause you a lot of trouble?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm shocked that Lingard's had the second half of the season he's had. I mean, not that that's necessarily something I've been disappointed with. It's nice to see a player get his career back on track, but I didn't expect the amount of goals he's scored. He's been brilliant for you guys. So definitely Lingard. Antonio, I think he's scored the odd goal against us in the past. So I'd put his name in the hat. And then, you know, you've got creative players. I think Ben Rama, now that he's scored, I'd be looking out for him, or almost scored against us in the home game. You know, West Ham have got great players. To be honest, I'm also looking at it and thinking that we might find it difficult to score. That's another area we can talk about players.
Well, lately we haven't found it difficult to let people score against us. So I don't think you need to worry there.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing. It's a much bigger game for you guys than it is for us. We're fighting for the almighty heights of 12. You guys are fighting for the Europa League. So, you know, whether we could call it a West Ham bottle on the day, we'll see. But yeah, I think you guys will have more intent to win the game. I think we've been on the beach for the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Before we let you go, Dan, what would your prediction be for tomorrow?
To be honest with you, I haven't thought about the game much this week. I'm just looking forward to seeing the season over. You know what? I think we'll put in a performance. I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think West Ham will run away with it, but I'll go to West Ham. I don't see us winning this game at all. We've got an awful record at your stadium.
Well, in the past, we've had an awful record at the London Stadium.
I know. It's one of those. It is a weird fixture. It is a weird fixture.
It is a weird one to finish with.
We don't need a point. So we'll share the points with you, Dan. We don't need a point.
Yeah, I'll take one day.
Yeah, we'll take a point. Anything to finish above Tottenham.
The old school games where they just like shake on it before the game and play it like a big war.
Play cards in the middle of the park.
We'll take 13th, 14th, whatever it is. Yeah, no, it's the season's been done for a while now. We just need to see it over. I think we need to see the start.
Well, Dan, thank you very much. And before you go, promote your channel. Tell everyone where we can find you.
Yes, the Saints View. If you want your Saints content, if you want your Saints news on social media, go find us. We're the place to be, I guess. Yeah.
Much appreciated, Dan. Look, we wish you well. We always do this. We wish you well after tomorrow. Look forward to a better season next season. I mean, Southampton, it's a nice away day as well. I love going down to Southampton. So, we do wish you well.
Stadium, but
Thank you very much. And thanks for coming on, mate. Much appreciated.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Dan.
Bye. Bye. Right. So here we go. Why don't we start talking about final game of the season? As you said, mate, it has been an almighty long season, hasn't it? Sitting here watching games from TV is not the same as going, is it?
No.
It's been an odd one, but what a season! What a season! I mean, we will do a season review, next week sometime. But we got one more game to go. We need one more point. Are we going to get what we need to finish in Europe? Well, no. To finish sixth place, to make certain of finishing sixth place.
I don't want to say we won't, but I'm pretty sure we will. I don't want to be overconfident. But
yeah,
I'm sort of looking at it, and the games have changed a lot since across the football pyramid since fans come back. Like even today, like the Championship playoff at Brentford, they had fans back, and it just felt like a different game.
Yeah.
It's, the home advantage sort of went away for a lot during, obviously, this lockdown because there's no fans. So it was almost like you just played neutral grounds every game.
Yeah.
10,000 fans back, I've got to think, is going to give us that extra bit. Yeah.
We'll make a noise without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it's interesting because Russ said some weeks back when there were only 2,000 fans in for the Man U game, they were making a noise, so you can imagine what 10,000 will do. I know the acoustics in that stadium are not great, but don't matter.
As long as we don't do what Spurs did and chuck everyone up in the nosebleeders.
My God! Well, not just that, mate, but they were fighting at the end of the end of their game as well. I mean, what was all that about?
I'm not getting that, but I'm just saying, like, hopefully Sullivan doesn't do what Levy done. He wanted to keep all the sponsorship out on TV, didn't he? So he left all the, for the whole lockdown, they had these big plastic tarpaulin covers, didn't they? Over the lower tier with all the adverts on. Well, they wanted to keep them on TV for the sponsorship money. So I'm just hoping.
I can confirm with you, because my ticket is in the lower tier. I can confirm that they're not doing that. So they're not doing that.
That was my only worry. Is let's stick everyone up in the upper tier and the sound's going to make no difference because it's not going to travel down to the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, our owners can be stupid, but sometimes they do get one or two things right. So there you go. So tomorrow, mate. I mean, I don't have Anton's fancy equipment where he manages to put the team together at the same time as talking. But I tell you what, I can do the next best thing and do this. Can you see that?
It's loading. Yes.
Right. So why don't we do this? Pick me your first 11, mate.
So I think we'll agree. We'll have to get Randolph. It's Randolph, isn't it?
Yeah, Randolph. Because it looks like Fabianski's season's over. Masuaku's and Lanzini as well.
I just wonder whether that might change some of Moyes' transfer plans in the summer.
Oh, I think so. I think it's a goal. I think goalie's a priority, mate, without a shadow of a doubt.
Because of is it 3 times this season now? He's broke down in the warm up before the game, Fabianski.
Yeah. And we've been saying for some time, haven't we? We've been saying for some time that he doesn't look right, hasn't been kicking the ball and stuff like that. You reckon we're going to go with a 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, and I think the flat back four, you know what the back four is. The back four won't change.
So we're looking at Soufal on the right side.
Soufal, Dawson, Bonner and Creswell.
It speaks for itself, doesn't it? Even though I'd still drop Dawson, but there you go. That's just me. But you know who can actually? Let's be honest. He had a better game in midweek. He didn't do too badly. Didn't do too bad.
I think they match each other well. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think if it wasn't Ogbonna, then I might be inclined to bring Diop back in.
Yeah.
But I think Ogbonna and Dawson just seem to have locked onto an understanding of how to play together. The two in front, we know that picks itself.
It does, doesn't it, mate?
Where is he? Runner up for Hamley, maybe sitting in them two there.
Yeah, well, I would go for a double check, mate. I would go for Soucek and Soufal as runners up and winners. I think Soufal might just nick it off Soucek, but it's close. It's close. All right, from the 3 attacking midfielders.
So,
should we get Antonio out of the way?
Yeah,
he's going to start, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 in the middle there.
You know what?
Go on.
He's always a bit difficult to predict, Moyes. I'm going to say he'll pick the same 3 that started West Brom.
Hang on. I almost put Ben Rama in there, but he didn't start, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did start. Of course he did. Of course he did. Benny,
Fornals and Lingard.
Where's Fornals when you need him? Benny, Fornals, and you reckon Lingard, yeah?
I think this is what Moyes will do. Personally, I wouldn't start Fornals, but I said this last week, and the West Brom game, he still started him anyway.
Would you?
I'd start Bowen.
You'd start Bowen, or would others like, for sentimental reasons, would others like this gentleman to start?
No. When we're 3-0 up with 10 minutes to go, you can bring him on because he can see the game out.
Yeah, and get a round of applause at the end of the game.
There's no fucking room for sentiment when we need the points.
No, mate, I totally agree.
If you know what? Agree. If the results have gone our way entirely in midweek and we couldn't finish below 6 already, you could play him.
Yeah.
I've no problem with that. It wouldn't matter. But we need the points.
Yeah. So that would be your lineup if you had your way. So you drop Fornals for this game.
Yeah, I'd have Ben Rama and Bowen either side and Lingard playing off Antonio.
In a roundabout sort of way, I do agree with you because I think we just, although I know we only need a point.
More like a 4-4-2. We can't defend, so we need to attack.
We can't defend, yeah. But I'd be inclined to go with that purely because we need to just go. I mean, I know we only need a point, but we need to take control sooner rather than later, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, get that early goal. I mean, we had that chance the other day. If someone has here's the interesting question that people have been asking. If we get a penalty without Noble on the pitch, Antonio can equal Di Canio's record in the Premier League. After Declan missed at the weekend on Wednesday, does he let Antonio take it?
No.
You're no sentiment here tonight, mate. None.
No, for me, right? And I think some managers are a bit like, oh, you missed it, give someone else go. For me, you get a penalty taker. That is your penalty taker.
Yeah.
You can't just be. He's missed one penalty, but that's it. Like I'd only agree with that if he'd done like Aguero when he tried to frigging Paneka down the middle with the title on the line, and the keeper just stood there and caught it.
Uh-huh.
But Deck's penalty, 2 inches further to the right, it went in. It went posted in.
Yeah.
The power, it was almost beyond Johnson before he even got down to dive for it. It wasn't a bad penalty. It was just minuscule bit of accuracy off. But you can't chop and change penalty takers. You know, we've had Noble for like 15 years taking penalties. It's someone else's turn. You've got to bring someone else in that's going to take it.
In Declan, we trust. You know, it was. I think. Well, you know, we can all say this in hindsight. I would have put it the other way, but there you go. But okay, so we got the lineup, we got the formation. Are we? Moyes ain't going to spring any surprises tomorrow, is he? Really? I mean, he's just going to go out there. That's
the only surprise he'll spring is if he dropped 4 hours. But again, I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he will.
I think the 3 he started with, he will start with, and that gives him the option off the bench.
So let's talk about. I mean, I know this is sort of going beyond the game tomorrow, but everyone is obviously talking about Lingard's interview, the comments he made. Taking away happy memories and all that sort of stuff. Is this his farewell tomorrow? And if it is he going to give us a performance that we're going to really remember, as he did at the beginning of his tenure?
Well, the thing is, obviously, he's not up to him, is it? Players are commodities. Players are stocks that get traded for. They're stocks that get sold to the highest bidder. So he isn't in a position to go and say, "Oh yeah, I'll be back," because he doesn't know. Because he doesn't know what Gold and Sullivan want to do. They legitimately might turn around to David Moyes next week and go, "Yeah, he done good, but for that amount of money, Salthouse can give us such and such and such instead." It depends how much of the transfer ability is in David Moyes.
Yeah,
and it depends how much Man United want to get rid of him. In some ways, quite harshly, thankfully, he's been off the boil the last month. I mean,
in order to bring that £40 million price tag down. 40 million.
Well, not being funny, he came in and he was legitimately the best player in the Premier League for 2 months straight in February and March. And he sort of faltered and stuttered through April, and then somehow got the player of the month for April when that had been the worst of his 3 months.
Yeah, the irony, the absolute irony. Yeah.
I think he wants to stay.
Yeah,
but I think in his interviews, he's got to be almost like politically correct, because if it doesn't work out, and he goes back to Man United having said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm really happy. I'm going to stay at West Ham," he sort of comes back with egg on his face, doesn't he? He's got to find the balance. I think he will stay, and I think we'll probably find a deal get done.
I think a deal would get done, and I think it would be good for him, and it will be good for West Ham, obviously. And of course, then there's all this rubbish today about GSB are going to sack Moyes.
No, they're not.
Scott's just. But I mean, they're running out of stories, aren't they, Matt? To put out.
The media just love putting out rumours against West Ham because they know West Ham have got this fan base that will just read everything, and as long as some sort of ITK doesn't deny it, that means it's true.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, they've already come out. I think every single newspaper, barring like one, come out this morning and said he's agreed to sign a new either 2 or 3 year deal next week. So they're not going to sack him.
They're not. I
did see there was.
Why would they even? Why would they even?
It was some Portuguese manager, wasn't it? Like, they're going to bring him in. No, they're not. Look, they've admitted themselves. They mucked up last time. Put it politely. They brought him in for 6 months, let him go, ended up with poo on their face by bringing in Pellegrini, giving them all that money, which it was a plan, and they did commit for once, and it nearly worked. And then Pellegrini sort of got the squad was unbalanced. He had too many flair players, not as many grafters, and I mean that in a way that every team has them. Chelsea have got Kante and Jorginho in the midfield. Man United at the moment play with Fred and McTominay. Man City still have Fernandinho in their team, and they've got Rodri. You have grafters, whereas we were literally like Declan Rice sitting in front of the back four on his own, and like everyone else just off up the pitch. It was like schoolboy, when you're at school as a kid, and you have the guys that come off the plate that stand at the back in front of the goalkeeper chatting, and all the other kids are up the pitch trying to score goals. Moyes has come in, and he's brought structure and solidarity and togetherness back into the team as a unit. And they're not going to bring him in.
Why the hell would we let
him go again? No.
Yeah. So on to
no
tomorrow,
one else could have done the job that he's done.
Twice. Twice. He's done it twice now. Bilic was a little bit of a disaster after Payet went. and Moyes came in and sorted things out then. And we didn't give him maybe the credit that he deserved back then. And he's come in and he's corrected the wrongs. I mean, I got taken in by the whole Pellegrini era, all these 30, 40 million pound signings. I thought we were going places. But you're absolutely right. You know, we had more number 10s than you could shake a stick at, and no defenders and stuff like that. So on to tomorrow then. What is your... have we got a video for a prediction? We do. What's your prediction? And we'll start looking at some comments and picking out people's predictions as well, mate.
I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go on a limb here and say, for once, we're actually going to come out all guns blazing.
I think so.
Sometimes we start really poorly. I'm going to go 2-0 at half time, and I think it's 3-1. I think we'll win 3-1.
Well, you've stolen my 3-1 result. But I weren't going to put it as 2-0. I think, you know, I mean, I look at the game against Wolves and think, how the hell did we steal a 3-1 win there? Well, not Wolves, sorry, against West Brom in midweek. How the hell did we? But I've got a feeling that I think we'll start fast and then we'll slump and then we'll win it. I think that the momentum of the crowd. Game. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be 4-4-2. They're going to be quite open, aren't they?
Southampton don't really sit back.
No, which
he likes attacking. He likes playing attacking football.
That suits us.
Which is why I've gone 3-1 because his game's going to be more open.
Well, you got my result because that's
it's the last game of the season. I mean,
in front of the fans.
I mean, Dan said they can go up like 2 places. It's about £4 million. I can't see him. I honestly could see him. He done it. You know what? He done it last year. We played just before lockdown last year. I think it was. It might have been the year before. We played in like second to last game of the season, and he literally rotated like half the team. He's like, I need to see who's good, who's available. I could see him rotating some of the team tomorrow, Southampton, because, like Dan said, they've been on the beach for about 2 months. They can go. I think they can. I think if I looked at the table right, they're in a spot where I think they're 14th. They can go as high as 12th or as low as 16th. So they could gain or lose about 4 million.
Couple of million here or there. Couple of million here or there. Let's go into some of the comments. You know, people have been talking about Arnautovic, and we heard what Karen Brady has said about him. So all you Arnautovic fans, tough shit. He's not coming. So well done, Karen Brady.
I made a comment on Twitter today.
Go on, I bet you got...
No. I actually said, you know what? I can't stand the woman. I was like, she writes these articles in the Sun every week, and I don't think a single article's ever actually benefited the club. Right? Even to the point where I think a couple of years back we tried to sign like the Leicester centre forward on loan.
When she slagged off the Leicester owners,
and the owner was like, "He's not going to West Ham because she embarrassed me in the newspaper."
Yeah, exactly.
But today, she got it spot on.
Absolutely spot on, mate. Well done. I mean, I don't applaud her for anything, but when I read that today, I actually laughed. I thought, yep, there you go. Someone at MVT Solar, you're new here. Can you tell me about the bloke on the left? Well, which left are you talking about? That's Matt. I'm Stelios, and welcome to West Ham Irons United, and I hope you subscribe. What else have we got here? Poggy Moore TV. He's Wheat Ham is the best. I'm sorry, Pogimore. I'm just winding you up. Daniela, Loro got us a win. That's never bodes well, does it?
No.
That never bodes well, does it?
The curse. You do know, I'm pretty sure we'd be like bottom 3.
If he kept predicting a win.
Yeah. If Loro was actually right, we'd be like in the bottom 5, I think.
James Bong, so looking forward to both the show and the game tomorrow. The wine rack is full of Rioja. Keep it in the European spirit. Now, we've got some very special guests on the show tomorrow, as Anton told you.
No, he said we got a lot of guests.
We've got a lot of guests,
he said about
and not earlier. Just any guests. People, I'm telling you now, tune in, don't miss it. There's some very, very special guests. Stato actually reads the Sun.
No, generally I don't. But I was scrolling through Twitter, and a lot of like the West Ham, you know, get the Twitter pages that are just West Ham accounts that just print the news and just read they do blurbs of news articles. Someone wrote, Kerry Brainey said this about Mitrovic, and I was like, surely she didn't actually say that, considering all the rumours we've had about him coming back. Yeah. So I actually quickly Googled it, and then the article come up, and I was like, oh.
Now,
so I did let me give you. They got their one hit for that 1 year.
I don't want to. It's not. Is that red wine you're drinking, mate? I asked you that the other day.
No.
Jesus, I thought you're turning into Alf for a minute. Now, I don't want to give away the names of the people that are coming on, but I'm going to give everyone a few clues. So let's see how many people get them. One of them has got that in his name. Come on, Stato. What's that? What is that?
I'm trying to think of who's got that in their name. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Is that easier?
I know it's a cross. Is it with an X? It's cross.
It's a cross. Mate. Oh, come on. Think of an old player. There you go. There you go. David Cross is on the show tomorrow, people. And there's another one. The other guest. There are others as well, but another guest. You can understand him less than you can understand Anton. So he's another Scot.
Oh, has he been on the channel before?
He has been on the channel before.
McAvenny. Is it when and done him at Scotland, didn't he?
That's right. McAvenny's coming on tomorrow as well. I think Anton's got one or two more lined up his sleeve. So join us tomorrow, people. It's going to be an extravaganza. I don't know what time Anton's planning to come on because I'll be at the stadium. Well, I'll be outside the stadium getting drunk.
The game's 4.
The game's at 4 o'clock. I think Anton is planning to go on at 2.
Yeah, he did say to me earlier than usual.
So earlier than usual, we've got some very, very special guests coming up. Do join the channel. You know, I know people want to switch off during the, and watch the game. You can actually have us in the background. You can have a split screen, and so you can sort of half listen to us and watch the game at the same time. So do that, please. 2:15 or 2:30. Is that Anton? How come I'm doing this when I'm not meant to, and you're in the bloody background doing the bloody chat? You get.
Well, he's probably down the pub, and he's just got to open his phone probably.
Cheeky git. Garino, potential banana skin, need the right attitude, and the fans 100% behind the team. It could be a banana skin, but I'm not.
As I said, we only need a point, and I think, like I said, Dan, I think they'll take the point.
We'll get it. Stuart, hello, mate. 1-1 would suit me. Europe and above, Spuds.
You know what? This is the thing as well. Was I didn't really even click this until after our game the other night. That Arsenal can still finish above them. Arsenal have I think they've won 4 games in a row, and have just swept up
do you know
table.
what I actually want? I want Spurs to be in the Europa Conference League. I want them to travel to Romania on a Thursday night in midwinter to play some Astragugu or whatever it might be.
If Arsenal in what is actually their worst ever season still managed to finish above Tottenham.
I don't know if any of you are doing this, but someone did mention right at the start of the show, I hope this is not going to interrupt my watching the Eurovision Song Contest.
Why are you watching it?
Why?
I guarantee England will finish. I guarantee the UK will finish on the bottom 3 because no one likes the UK and they never vote for us. It doesn't matter who it is.
Sean, team selection, interactive, graphic, nice. Well, no, that was made up right at the last minute because Anton, obviously, he wants to be the top dog, and he wouldn't tell me which Ricky. He just. Oh, he's like that, isn't he? Selfish little git. He wants to pretend that he's like, the bee's knees and wouldn't tell anyone what he was using. Hammerwell, Squirts will have to start a GoFundMe account the way they're playing. Harry Kane wants to leave. He wants to play European football. I mean, what?
You know what? The thing is, right, genuinely, and I'm not saying this because it's West Ham and Tottenham. No, I'm being genuine, right? And I don't mean this because I'm a West Ham fan saying it, it's Tottenham. He is too good for that club.
Yeah.
If you actually look at his stats, saying that as a West Ham, his stats are insane. I think he's played 240 Premier League games, and he scored 170 Premier League goals.
It's mad, isn't it? That would normally win you the league in other teams.
How many chances does he get in a game at Tottenham? He gets 2 goals. 2 chances. He scores 2 goals.
Yeah.
If he went to Man City, He probably scored like 40. He scored like 45 goals this season.
Goalie wise, Mark Alexander. Yeah, we know Johnson from West Brom is a sort house, one of sort houses.
Not the first time we've been linked with him. I would.
Yeah, would you take him?
Because he had. Don't forget. I don't mean like he's sitting in now, isn't he? He's got the best save percentage and he's made the most saves this season.
Has he? I didn't know.
And everyone's saying, "Oh, that's because he's playing for a team that's getting relegated."
But then that's why we bought.
That's why we bought Fabianski. And has Fabianski been
exactly
back?
The same reason. Yeah. That's why we bought him
from a relegated team.
Yanka.
It's not the first time we were linked with him. We nearly bought him about 2-3 years ago when he went to Aston Villa.
I think he'd be decent. Will he be decent in? Is he that level for us? Is he decent enough? But mind you, when Fabianski came in, I don't think a lot of people. I think people were a bit like that with Fabianski, weren't they? Yeah, we know he's a good keeper, but Yanka, I hope Odubeko gets some game time. I do too, but don't count on it, mate. I think if there's going to be a sub tomorrow, Noble would be one of them, wouldn't he? So long as we're winning 8-0 by the time.
I do think if we're 3-0 up with and you know what? If we're 3-1 up with 15 minutes to go, he'll bring Noble on.
Yeah,
he'll probably take off. He'd probably take off. You know what? Right, we're 3-1 up. It's 15 minutes to go. He hasn't made a sub yet. Right, his first sub is Ben Rama for Noble.
Yeah, poor Ben Rama. I like him and Bowen to actually finish a game.
I would, but I'm saying it. Moyes is like Antonio and Lingard are basically untouchable. Fornals has got does the hard grafting. He wants to see out the game. He's like, right, Benny, you're off. Nobes, go and make it a back 7 or something.
Do you think there's a lot of speculation that West Ham are going to park the bus to get the point tomorrow? I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think didn't Lingard do an interview and he was like, no, we're not going to park the bus. We're just going to attack.
He was like, going to attack.
Yeah,
that's thrown Moyes' mind games right out the window.
I'm sure it was Lingard done interview and he was like, no, we're just going to attack. I think he said it on the club website. He's like, the boys just want to go out there and get the win. He's like, we're going out to win.
Sean reckons Southampton will come out all guns blazing. I hope we don't concede early. Do you think that they might do that?
They didn't against Leeds in midweek, mate. And that was their home game. They lost 2-0.
Glenn reckons that both Antonio and Noble will equal the goal scoring record tomorrow.
We'll put it this way, right? I'm saying I'll go out on this, regardless of whether Antonio scored or not. If we get a penalty and Noble's on the pitch, Noble's taking it.
Noble's taking it without a shadow of a doubt. He ain't gonna be sentimental.
He's like, I've got 1 year left. You still got about 4 years in you, Antonio. I'm having a penalty.
Well, 4?
Well, look at his injuries, mate.
That's optimistic. Gary Rutter. Let's hope the fans sing Moyes' name tomorrow. Really good shout. Absolutely. Danny Jackson. I was thinking about Creswell for pens. But he's only taken one in his career. I thought he'd taken more than that. No.
You know what? If you want another actual penalty taker, if we're already saying is Rice taking him or not, and you want to put someone else in, you should be giving him Souček.
Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. Actually, let's see if I can find that.
Vaclav said it on the live stream on Wednesday. He said he took him for Slavia. He was their penalty taker.
Right. Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. If Noble's on, he's taking it in it. Here we go, Yanka. Souček should take them. Yeah, absolutely. That's an interesting point. H&O Productions. Why are some people being negative about Fornals? Can you understand that, mate?
It's finishing. I said this. Me and Luke done the rating show the other day, and I made the joke that we've got a full pre-season this year. It's a proper pre-season. They got a break. Time to go away, relax, and they've got a pre-season. Pre-season, Fornals needs to go and do finishing training with Kevin Nolan. Nolan made a career of being that guy that made the light run into the box, playing off the big man and scoring.
Yeah.
That is what Fornals does. His finishing is just being wayward. It's either like clinical or nothing. I was like, he needs to go and do that. If he can get that sorted, it would take his game to another level. That's all he's missing at the moment for me.
Agreed. Dino, I think Ben Rama deserves to start the game. I can't understand the coach. I think you're going to get your way, Dino. He will start. He's
slowly bled him in,
he
hasn't
had a decent game,
he had a decent game.
Yeah. Sean, the Romanian Cup final, Astra Gugu 2, Univer Craiova, that mighty University Craiova 3. They've qualified for the Conference League.
Yeah, because we could have ended up playing them. I said, if we qualify for the Europa League, we go straight into the group stages.
Yeah, we do.
But if we somehow end up in 7th tomorrow, that means that we go to the last qualifying round of the Europa Conference League.
What else have we got here? My apologies, because the chat has just jumped yet again. You know what I try and do? I actually try and keep it at the very top and scroll down, but it doesn't allow me to do so. So please,
eventually it just refreshes, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately so. Charles Lee, hello mate. I think the lads will turn up and win 4-0. Lingard, Ogbonna, Antonio. Lingard, Ogbonna. Oh, and Antonio getting 2. Goal scorers for you tomorrow, mate. Who do you think is going to score?
I'll go Lingard, Benrahma. And you know what? He's been up the pitch so many times recently and he keeps missing. Southampton.
I'll tell you who I'm going to go.
Southampton's going to get one. No, he's had so many chances recently. He hit the post.
Yeah, but he gets afraid. He gets to the 18-yard box and he goes, "What do I do now?"
Behind him, mate.
Southampton, just cross it, mate. Just cross it. Now, I reckon Fornals will get one tomorrow. Benny will get one. Lingard and Antonio. Oh no, that's 4. So I've got to go 3.
Unless one of them was an own goal.
Benny, Lingard, and Fornals.
Oh, down for
Benny, Lingard, and Fornals. What else we got here? Foe. Who are the special guests? Not sure. No. Well, people have worked it out. Psycho's coming on tomorrow, people. And if Anton has lied to me or let us down,
Sean's sitting in the director's box, isn't he?
What else we got? Who else we got here? Let's scroll down. Good evening, Peach, Daniela, Vinay. I hope you're all well. We're scrolling down because my dinner is getting cold. It was delivered 25 minutes ago and the other half has eaten it and is not looking over this way. So I'm in trouble. Good evening, Rhonda and Tony. Brighton played their grand final last game and I can see Arsenal putting 5 or 6 past them tomorrow. Don't worry about them. Garino, get a rap version of my one football video and enter it for the Eurovision Song Contest. That's not a bad idea. I'll probably win. Good evening. This Higgy Life. Yo, I support Southampton and it'll be 2-2. Thank you for joining us and thank you for that as well. Who else we got? Hammerette. The fans are going to push us to win tomorrow. Absolutely. D. Lee, we can't park the bus like a Cortina. We can't park the bus more like park a Cortina. We're not doing that well in defence, are we, mate, at the moment?
No, it's strange. Because you remember, like, over the Christmas period, we had a run where we actually were really solid in defence.
We're getting a load of blank sheets, weren't we?
Ever since, I want to say, was it Arsenal? When we had the 3-3?
It all went downhill.
Have we had a clean sheet since?
No, we haven't. Leeds was the last clean sheet. And when was that? March.
I think. Yeah.
Richard McKello. Hope Lingard has a good game like before. Yeah. If he's definitely leaving us and not coming back, then I hope he gives us something to cheer on, which I'm sure he will. Foe. Souček penalty record 13 taken, 10 scored. Pretty bad, that, isn't it? 13 taken, 10 scored. I'm only kidding. Well, I think
Rice is 2 from 4, isn't he? So it's better than 50-50.
Yeah, very true. Who else have we got? What else have we got here? 2:15, people. I'm pushing Anton. It's going to be 2:15, Anton. No matter how pissed you are tonight, you're starting early, mate. 2:15. We'll do a live from the London Stadium or outside the London Stadium at 2:15. So join us for that and join us for all the special guests as well. Garino, Eurovision is dodgier than UEFA, and that takes some doing. That's true.
Well, it's not. It's all votes. It's a popularity vote. And no one likes the UK, so we never win.
Just absolute crap. Ronda and Tony. If Fornals takes the penalties, then we can relax as we know who will miss. Fornals is my player of the year. What a worker. That's a good shout. Fornals is player of the year?
You know what? I'd probably give him like most improved player.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if he'll get player of the year.
No.
It goes under the radar, doesn't it? When is the player of the year, by the way?
They probably announce it tomorrow.
You're the guy that does all the news still. When's the player of the year?
Mate, I've tried. Nothing on it. Nothing on it at all.
Because some clubs have already done it. Some clubs have already done it.
Well, why? We'll probably do it at the beginning of the new season, mate. That's what
they normally give out the award at the start of the new season, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
But they normally have the award night at the end of the season, but they haven't even.
I bet after the last thing that they did, do you remember they did some sort of Christmas thing where you were invited a virtual invite, and I don't think that one went very well, so I don't think they're planning to do anything just yet. Hammerett, Fornals paid his own get out clause to leave Malaga to go back to his youth club. What a player. Didn't know that. Hammerwell, would you swap Souček and Fornals' position for tomorrow and allow Souček to go further up? Good shout, or does he? We don't need that, do we? He gets up there anyway now that Declan's back.
Yeah. Well, I said this before. Me and Jake said it for a couple of weeks on the player ratings that he's not the same player when Rice isn't there. I think even Nigel made the point when we did the West Brom watch along that he's not really a defence. He's not a holding player, is he, Souček? He is a box to box. He's a disruptive box to box player. But with Rice not being there, whether it was, I think in order
he had to do a job, didn't he? He had to do a job.
Lanzini, Fornals, he had to sit back because all three of them aren't going to do the job that he needs to do.
Hammerett is agreeing with you. She reckons Soufal, so you're both wrong, is going to get a goal. George Meyer, Benrahma is going to play well in front of fans as we will cheer every time he does skill. With that confidence, he'll score. Vinay reckons it's going to be 5-0. Vinay, please don't do these things. Antonio, Benny, Souček will get 2 and Dawson will get 1. Dawson. Yeah. Garino. Go on, mate, what?
I'm sure the last couple of times we played at London Stadium, we scored 3 goals. I'm sure the last couple of times.
I can't remember the last game.
Last season was 3-1 when Bowen scored his first goal.
Was that the last game?
That was the last time we played them at London Stadium.
Right.
It was right before lockdown, wasn't it? I think that was the last game we was at before lockdowns.
That's what I'm trying to work out. Was it?
Yeah. Bowen scored. Haller scored. Antonio scored.
Too long ago.
Before that, the year before that, I'm sure it was a 3-1 as well. It's been a few years in a row. We've played them near the back end of the season, like in the last 10 games. At home, it's been like 3. We score 3 goals every game.
Well, I hope it's 3-1 tomorrow. Garino, can you imagine the scenes if Soufal scores tomorrow in front of the fans? I mean, he'd go nuts, wouldn't he? I mean, he's a proper West Ham boy, isn't he, Soufal?
Jumping on the bus up to Chadwell Heath. Yeah. Have you listened to Peter Crouch's podcast?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't.
Because he had Noble on, didn't he? That's what Noble said. And Peter Crouch was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, no, he'll come to training, and we'll finish training, and then like him and Souček will go play like an hour of head tennis, and then he'll go and jump on the bus up to Chadwell." And Crouch was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he doesn't drive up there. He just goes and gets on the bus."
I love it.
Soufal's out here living his best life, mate. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm getting the bus. I think Noble said he drove past him once. He was like him and his daughter in a buggy, and they were at the bus stop. Noble picture, and they like done all the rounds on social media.
D. Lee, did anyone see the Bowen and Stuart Pearce interview? Pearce said toughest player he played against was our very own Mark Ward. Yeah, good shout. No, another one.
That's on the club's YouTube channel.
Let's scroll down so we can let you all go and I can eat my dinner. Good evening, Peach. I hope you're well. I got your birthday greeting. Thank you, mate. Even though I didn't understand half the video, I got the gist of the birthday. So my appreciation for that, mate. Epic. Hello, mate. In Spain, players have to pay their own release clause, but they get the money from the buying club. It's just a technicality. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I know that if they have a buyout clause, the club that buys the player doesn't pay the club selling. They have to pay it to the league, and the league like intermediates it. Oh,
right. Okay. Garino, Soufal will probably eat the post if he doesn't score tomorrow. What else we got? Kimbo. It's good to have a few to choose from for the Ham of the Year. Really good point, that. I mean, there are 3-4 players.
Well, I think,
minimum.
For the last couple of years, it's just been like the guy that's come back and saved us, pretty much, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Because it was Payet got it, and then there was the year that he left when he got relegated, and then that's when Arnautovic got it. And I think the year after that, did Rice get it?
Rice was the last one, wasn't he? Yeah. NWO. Good evening, mate. Benny doesn't deserve to start a game. What do you think of that?
He's contributed 4 goals in his last 3 games.
Yeah,
Scored or assisted?
I think he deserves. I think he deserves to start. James, I would be watching this show, but the check entry to the Eurovision, the potato salad ballad, has me mesmerised. Oh dear. Reese, question: should I wear the 15-16 shirt or the 16-17 shirt tomorrow? Oh, Reese, you should be wearing the 1975 FA Cup winning shirt or the 1980 FA Cup winning shirt, Reese. So go out there and buy one. Hurry up. Hammerette, wouldn't want to meet Soufal on a dark night at the bus stop if we were to lose tomorrow. Gary Page.
We haven't spoken about it, but we could lose tomorrow and still finish 6th.
Only if Spurs don't win either.
They've got to beat Leicester. And if they don't play against Leicester, that they played against Villa on Wednesday, Leicester will score 5 or 6.
I don't want to think about us not winning tomorrow. I don't. I absolutely don't. Gary, could be a big scoreline tomorrow. Having fans there will make them raise their game. Even more goal fest tomorrow. There you go. Danny Jackson.
You know what? We're due a big result, so I'd have it.
We've been saying it all season, haven't we? We've been saying that we're due to spank a team all season, and it ain't happened yet. So, Danny, to me, there are 3 solid picks for Hammer of the Year. 2 of them are checks. The other is already getting his hair ready for tomorrow. Who's getting his hair ready? Who's getting his hair ready for tomorrow?
That's what I was thinking of.
Cresswell always got a nice bar on it. He's had a good season, hasn't he? He's had a good season.
Mate, like I said, because we're so high up the league for once, it's sort of like who's had a bad season? Not a bad 3 or 4 games. Who's had a bad season?
Yeah, no one really.
No one.
No. George is being very optimistic. He reckons it's going to be a 9-0 win.
They've already had their 9-0 loss for this season. They only do it once a season.
The Pablo Antonio, he's getting his hair done tomorrow, is he? Oh, right. Right. I think that's it. We're an hour in, I know Anton's going to be having kittens in the pub because we've got over an hour, and you know what? He sent me guidelines. He sent me instructions earlier on about I've loaded this, I've loaded that, and thought, I had a look at the videos. I changed a couple because they were boring. And I actually put other images.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Yarmolenko's been bad every time. Yarmolenko will be going at the end of the season.
So he's the only one that's right. He's the only one out of contention for Player of the Season.
WMP, I don't know how many mugs are left. Apparently, Anton still has to send out about half a dozen. Oh, and if anyone knows Ross Cordell, he won the shirt, the black away shirt, and he's not been on. So Ross Cordell, you normally comment. So if anybody knows Ross Cordell, let him know he's won the shirt and get in touch with us. Reese ignored me calling him still ignored me calling me a dinosaur. I just have to do it tomorrow. Reese, you're about 6 years old, mate. So you calling me a dinosaur is just ridiculous. So
you call
and your parents, Reese, are your parents going to allow you out tomorrow? Have you got their permission? Oh dear. What should we finish with? I'll tell you what, we'll do this.
One Football have teamed up.
That's it. Right. Anyway, tomorrow onwards.
One Football have teamed up with West Ham United.
Shut it, Matt. Don't do it. We're all going to see you tomorrow. Anton's going to be here at 9:30 in the morning to do a live stream from 9:30 all the way through to 10 o'clock at night. No, seriously. On at 2:15, 2:30. Some very special guests coming on. Some very special guests coming on. Do join Anton. We're going to join up. I'm going to be at the last post to start with, and hopefully I booked a table. Yeah, I booked a table. And I know some of the people on this chat booked a table as well, so it's going to be very nice to meet a few of them. I don't know what I'm letting myself in for. Maybe they don't know what they're letting themselves in for. No, of course I'm not going to bloody turn up on time. Don't be ridiculous, mate. Fuck, I mean, why break a habit of a lifetime?
Whose name you put down for the table? Have you put Nigel's name down? Because he'll be there on time.
He'll be there. Actually, I should have done that, shouldn't I? So do join us tomorrow for the watch along. I know you'll be watching the game, but do try and have this, sort of, because there are some laughs, especially if we're going to be winning, by a decent score. It'd be really worthwhile watching the watch along as well. We'll be cutting in and out. We're not allowed to film in the stadium, but we'll certainly film outside of the stadium. So join us for that. Final day of the season. It's been a fantastic season. And am I going to turn up late and leave at midnight? Mate, I'll turn up when I turn up. I'll be there for the game. Let's put it that way. I've never missed kickoff. Oh, yeah, pint for every minute I'm late. Well, you won't be able to drink enough of them.
Oh, you won't be getting to the game if you don't have that many pints. I'll tell you that much.
See you all tomorrow. Have a good evening. What's left of it, and we'll chat tomorrow.